Pennsylvania. Now we go into match 3 of this event. And 2 big fellas. Dave DeAntremont, high fives. Keith will shoot first.
2 big guys with 2 major toys in their hand, Chris. They can overpower the pins. They just have to throttle back. They have as much or more than you'd ever want. Just got to keep it in the hole. Let's see what happens. Keith should be loose.
All but one, the 10. He had 6 strikes in his 214 victory over OZIO.
Ball speed on this spare, 24+ miles an hour.
Ooh. That rotator cuff is getting banged in it. Oh, having had one done some years ago, it hurts to watch him.
Well, that's because you were such a good baseball pitcher.
That was true. That in a pace car wreck.
Now the big D, the man who had a tremendous year last year with 185,000 in winnings.
Look at that come up. It won't go down.
Well, if a pin gets 9 degrees off axis, it should fall. So apparently that was only about 8 degrees off axis. Look at this thing. The 6 pin gives it a love tap. Just not enough enthusiasm.
So much for the gyro stabilizer. Dave DeAntremont, Middleborough Heights, Ohio. He's a 4-time champion in his 14 years. He was 3rd here last year.
He's always been solid at the Quaker State. Made an adjustment with his shoes before we went on the air. Changed shoes to accommodate the synthetic approaches. They bowled on wood lanes at Forum to qualify.
A 2. The 2, the 4, and the 10 have been so prominent here today.
And all 3 players have missed a single pin today. So Keith is the lone survivor. If you can make your spares, you should win some matches.
Nearly went over the foul line, but these professional bowlers, you may not think they're athletes, but believe me, they are. Tremendous in every situation, where control of body, mind. The Comanche.
Well, it's unusual to see a pin come from the right-hand part of the screen and assist in the carry. DeAntremont working his shoes right now. The approaches are a factor for him. There's carpet behind the approaches, as it can have an effect and build up a little static electricity on his shoe. Keith, solid at the line. He seems to have everything under control. Concentration's the key to Jimmy, and he seems to have it very focused today.
Strike up. And a double puts him out to an 11-pin lead with DeAntremont up. He has a pair of spares shooting in the 3rd frame of this semifinal game. The winner to meet, tournament leader, Steve Wilson.
The full approach, you can see the carpet behind that 17-foot approach, and that's of concern to David. Let's see if he can be solid at the line. That's what he needs.
The 9.
Too much ball. 3-pound, 6-ounce pins have no chance against the DeAntremont power strike. It's 6 degrees like that of angle of attack.
Just. 12 pins now separating Jimmy Keith and David DeAntremont. Florida, Keith versus Ohio, DeAntremont. Take your choice of weather. Those 2 states. Beautiful. First strike coming in the 4th frame. DeAntremont and Jimmy Keith. Quaker State 250. You know, one of the many amusement parks in Texas, and there are a lot, provide some excitement for the folks. I wouldn't dare. Oh. Midway between Fort Worth and Dallas, we're in Grand Prairie. Quaker State 250, 20th consecutive year. Herb Baum and John Barr, two top executives from Quaker State, couldn't be here, but I know they're watching. Well, this is one that nobody likes to even see, let alone trying to convert to 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Mom and Dad, Nora and Daniel, and Bobby. Come on. Great. Beautiful conversion. 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. I hope you have that much skill. 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. And our statistician, Butch Soper, who is doing well every week, sort of says with a raised eyebrow, Heidi ho. Hey, Bo.
All right, Chris, unusual spare, but we've all seen that from Jimmy Keith, right, Steve? Steve Wilson, our tournament leader. Steve, you qualified on wood lanes. You're going on synthetics for the championship round. Do you feel that's going to affect your game, pal?
No, I don't think so. I was practicing a little earlier. They seem to be pretty good right now. The scores should be good. I'm looking to bowl a good game and see what happens.
Could be an all-Florida final. Two young guys if Keith can win this match, Chris. Back to you.
Okay. 10-pin on the left lane for Jimmy Keith, who has a 6-pin lead. Carefully now. Lofted a third of the way down the lanes. It looked like a dolphin jumping out of the water. Now D'Entremont, strike up, can take the lead. I was hugging, caressing the channel, my friend Bo.
Here was, Chris, and what Dave D'Entremont likes is he likes the swing area. When he can play it and swing it wide, that's when he scores best. And obviously this lane will come back. When it hangs out there, Dave's in trouble.
Complaining a little bit about sticking. Did it earlier in the left lane and now in the right lane. Even in warming up, I noticed that.
Yes, he's tried a couple of different pairs of shoes. Most of the players, you hear about all the bowling balls they use. They're allowed 8 in a tournament. However, a lot of players have 5 or 6 pairs of shoes to adjust for all humidities, all approaches. D'Entremont's still looking for the right combination.
Oh. There's a 410. Bo, what do we do to convert that?
The 410, Chris, is a really tough spare, especially for a big hook ball player like D'Entremont. He needs to get the ball over to the left of the 4-pin and slide it over into the 10. Not to be.
So it's an open frame in the 6th for Dave D'Entremont. Sylvia, well, she's disappointed too.
Well, Dave looks to be talking to Sylvia, trying to get some advice on what to do. So he's really opened the door for Jimmy Keith. They've given him every break. Now it's time for Jimmy to settle down and take control of this match.
Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, it's the World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. Our national champion, Michelle Kwan, and defending world champion, Chin Lu, compete in the ladies' short program. Then tonight at 8, 7 Central, on a special primetime edition of Wide World, we'll have the ladies free skate live for the championship. All coming up. Wide World, and then tonight at 8 Eastern.
Keith, up 7th frame, can take a 29-pin lead with a strike.
His 4th strike of the match. He had only 6 in his victory over David OZIO. As our jazz band plays us out for a little break, spring is here in the Texas area that we're visiting, and the children of Grand Prairie are making full use of it. And the music plays on here at the Warrior Coliseum in Grand Prairie, Texas. Bo and I have not estimated the crowd here yet. It takes us a little time to count them all, but
well, in Detroit last year, Chris, we had over 7,200. I'd say the crowd is less than half of that. Of course, that's doesn't have quite as big an auditorium. Now, for David D'Entremont, 7th frame, trails by 29. He has to just get it on. He needs to take his time. Everybody in the crowd settling down. So here we go. Smart move by D'Entremont.
Thrown into that pocket. Tomorrow, 2 Eastern, 1 Central and Pacific on ABC Sports. Jimmy Powell and Orville Moody are leading going into the final round of the Liberty Mutual Legends of Golf. And it's the next stop for the Indy Racing League when we go to Phoenix for the Duralube 200. That's tomorrow here on ABC Sports. Golf and auto racing. Indy Racing League.
All right, for D'Entremont, almost a must situation. Trails by 29, has to strike.
So the crowd, or one or two in the crowd, that distracted him with that motion, believe me. And this is Bo and I have a pretty good vantage point, as we always do each week. Carol Letty and Norm Samet see to that. Got a double working, shooting in the 8th frame.
A little gamesmanship going on out there too, Chris. D'Entremont trailing by 29, cuts it to 19, then implores the crowd to start getting on his side. All of a sudden, Keith throws his second worst shot of the match. He obviously made that split, but right now the game is back on.
Jimmy Keith perspiring heavily.
The warm spring in Texas, overflow crowd, and pressure makes it easy to perspire. Right now, Keith with a 17-pin lead going at a 212 pace. The Big D sitting on the bench still has room for 225.
So often today he has gotten help in a shot like that, but not this time.
Well, you see Keith has a great arm swing, a great power, but you know what? It's just too much sometimes. He just drove the 6-pin right around the 10, and this will be a rock as he lofts it out there to cover the 10-pin.
That was a spare in the 9th frame for Jimmy Keith. Now with the double up, here is Dave D'Entremont.
Biggest shot of the week for David. Right now, if he can throw 2 strikes and get us 3 strikes and a 7 count, he wins the match. When at least seemingly Keith had complete control. Here we go, 9th frame.
Is he pumped? He's just staring down his opponent. And he is hanging that 16-pound bowling ball on the edge of the channel. That was even closer than the one I commented about earlier. Look out.
You're right, partner. And that's a sign of a player knowing his own game. Under pressure, he throws it in his zone. Throw it wide, let it hook. Now he can take the lead for the first time in a match. First ball, 10th frame.
We wanted that. Don't we all? These Texas bowling fans are so appreciative.
Here's D'Entremont with a shot that can give him the lead. Apparently looks good. Solid 10. He converts that spare. And right now for Dave D'Entremont, he can finish with 204. That would force Jimmy Keith to be right in the same situation we saw in the OZIO Richardson match that opened the telecast. Keith will just need a mark and a spare. If he opens, he loses.
And then the tournament leader, Steve Wilson from Tamarack, Florida, will be moving in for the battle for the $48,000 first prize, $25,000 the runner-up. The loser of this game that you're watching right now will go home with $15,000.
Keith must mark right here, and that's not a gimme with his style. Oh my, that's where they live, right there. Boy, did you see his mother jump up on that one? Woo! The Keith family knew that this is a title match coming up between 2 young Floridians, and I'll bet you Steve Wilson and Jimmy Keith have bowled each other hundreds of times. This is going to be fun.
204 for D'Entremont. 218 to